Several secretaries of state are demanding answers from Donald Trump's Department of Justice about its push for voter registration data, raising fears that it's connected to his plan to try and stay in office beyond his term, or at the very least, ensure that Republicans remain in power forever. Instead of earning your vote with policies that improve your life, Republicans are intent on rigging the system so they always win. And when they do, things get worse, not better. Trump's gerrymandering scheme was supposed to secure his grip on power forever. But now that it's collapsing, he's turned to an even riskier plan. But just like the last one, this one won't work either. And I'm going to tell you why. But first, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and the bell so that you'll be the first to know when we post. This is Pragmotiv News, and it's your boy Trey. So, according to multiple reports, Democratic state election officials are demanding to know why the Trump administration suddenly wants massive amounts of voter data. Trump's team says it's all about preventing voter fraud. But countless investigations and years of reporting already shows that voter fraud is extremely rare. AP is reporting that 10 Democratic Secretaries of State asked the Trump administration Tuesday to provide more information about its wide-ranging efforts to seek statewide voter registration lists, citing concerns that federal agencies have apparently misled them and might be entering the data into a program used to verify U.S. citizenship. In a letter to the Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, the Secretaries of State expressed, quote, immense concern over reports that the Justice Department has shared voter data from the states with the Department of Homeland Security. Quote, given the unprecedented nature and scope of the DOJ's request, we require additional information about how this information will be used, shared, and secured, they wrote. So, roughly a month and a half ago, Pam Bondi's Department of Justice started filing lawsuits against states that wouldn't simply hand over the sensitive voter data, despite the Constitution making it clear that maintaining voter rolls is the responsibility of the states, not the federal government. Democracy Docket is reporting that in letters to the states, the department has said it wants the information to ensure states are complying with two federal laws, the Help America Vote Act, or HAVA, and the National Voter Registration Act, NVRA, which both have provisions aimed at ensuring that the states are keeping accurate voter rolls. But as Justin Levitt, a constitutional law scholar and a former Deputy Assistant Attorney General in the DOJ's Civil Rights Division, has noted, both of those laws put list maintenance in the hands of the states. In fact, according to Levitt, quote, data on particular individuals isn't particularly helpful in enforcing NVRA and HAVA, provisions that the letters cite. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that Trump and Bondi are scheming. But why exactly is the Trump administration trying to build a national voter roll? Well, as Democracy Docket notes, some worry that the trove of voter data taken out of context could offer a gold mine of misleading evidence to allow the Trump administration to supercharge its false narrative about rampant illegal voting. Others are concerned the administration could use it to build a national registration database and effectively take control of election administration, or to target people based on their political affiliation. And some warn that the DOJ simply doesn't have the systems in place to securely store voter information from all 50 states, raising the threat of a massive data breach. As if we didn't have 50 million of those already, y'all. Now, there is no legitimate purpose for trying to obtain this data, said David Becker, the founder and executive director of the Center for Election Innovation and Research, and a former trial lawyer in DOJ's voting section. There is no way this data could be useful to them if they were operating in good faith, he says. There is no legal basis for obtaining such data. So it does make me wonder, and I know the states are wondering, Becker added, what is the purpose behind this? In his quote. So I say that exactly. What is the goal here? Now, here's my theory. Imagine a Joe Johnson in Florida, one in Texas, and another one in California, all sharing the same name, but also the same birthday. That's entirely possible because with 300 plus million Americans and only 365 days in a year, millions of people inevitably share birthdays. Under this plan, the Trump administration could cry voter fraud and strip all three of them of their vote just because of a name and a birthday. Names like Johnson, Williams, Smith, they're everywhere. Millions of Americans could lose their constitutional right to vote over something as random as a name and a birthday. And that's exactly why this plan is so dangerous. Now imagine this. Walk with me for a minute. Under this theoretical plan, you show up to vote and suddenly you're accused of fraud because there's another person with the same name, maybe even the exact same birthday. At this point, you not only have to prove who you are at the polls, but you would then be forced into court to defend your very right to vote. And it doesn't stop there. Someone else with the same name and birthday, who might even live in the same city as you, would have to show up too. The courts could eventually fix it, but then the damage is done. The election would be over and millions of Americans wouldn't be able to vote. They'll lose their right to vote. Plus, not many people have the time and the money. There might not even be enough lawyers in this country to fight the government just so that the people could exercise their constitutional rights. So in effect, your vote would be stolen. Now, this is a blueprint for disenfranchisement, wrapped up in the guise of protecting elections. Now, some of y'all might think I'm crazy, but I actually have faith that it won't come to that. Why? Well, look at how these cities have stood up to the unconstitutional actions of ICE. Look at the elections just 2 weeks ago. Look at the Epstein vote. His plan will fail, just like all of his other harebrained schemes. Because here's the truth. When we stand up and fight, we win. Could you have imagined just a few months ago that the Republican House and Senate would side with the Democrats against Trump in a 427-1 vote? Hell no. And yet it happened. This is proof, no matter how reckless the plan, when we stand together, we can stop it. But here's the truth I've always said. Lying only gets you so far. Fucking around and finding out isn't just a saying, it's a fundamental life lesson. Life is consequences. Every choice we make as individuals and as a society has results, good or bad. I knew it all along. When costs didn't drop under Trump on day one and instead soared because of his tariffs, there would be no hiding. People would see it. Too late, I might add, but I knew they would eventually see it. And they would see just how grave of a mistake they made in November 2024. I just wish it didn't have to come to this, because the truth is, things are most likely going to get a lot worse before they get better. So buckle up, stay aware, and keep it locked here at Pragmotiv. And remember, we, the people, are the ones who decide how this story ends. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow at Pragmotiv News everywhere to stay pragmotivated. Also, remember you can find us across major platforms like Spotify, Apple, Audible, and iHeartRadio so that you can listen to us even when you're out on the go. Also, please take a moment to share this video with your friends and family. It really helps us out. Until next time, peace.